Hello guys and welcome. My name is Dr. Piro and today I'm going to be sharing with you hacks in medical school exams. How to convert your 50s to your 70s. Yes, it is possible. Yes, I've done it before and yes, you can also do it. The first time I thought about it, I thought it was impossible, but with a few trials, I was able to do it, and I want to share the secrets I used here with you. A lot of what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be drawing from my book, Campus 101, what they don't teach in class. So if you're interested, there's an audio copy, there's PDF. If you're interested, you can get it. Just send me an email and you can drop it in the comment section below. So now, how to convert your 50s to your 70s. Exams are important in medical school. See, it took me 50 exams before 50 end of posting exams before my final MB. So exams are a reality in medical school. You're going to do a lot of exams, OSCEs, picture tests. You're going to write a lot of essays, and today we're going to be focusing on essays because that's a huge chunk of what you are going to be doing in medical school. Now, I'm going to divide it into preparation, delivery in the exam hall, what you actually do in the exam hall, and then what I call the little things. On this channel, I do a little bit of medical lifestyle and then a little bit of academics. So if you are a clinical student or a medical student generally, then subscribe to this channel because there's a lot in stock for you. Now, preparation. There are two parts to preparation. The first part is experience. And experience can only be gotten in two ways. Either you do it yourself and learn from your mistakes, or you do it or you get it from someone else's mistake and someone else's experience. I'm telling you, 6 years is too short a period of time to make all the mistakes and learn in medical school. So it is better to leverage on the experience of your seniors who have gone before. So the first tip I'm giving you is go and meet those who are getting the kind of scores you want to get. Now, if you want to get a Ballon d'Or, you don't ask Neymar. You ask Lionel Messi. The reason why is because you have to ask those who are getting the kind of scores you want to get so that you can get those kind of scores too. Experience is actually the best teacher, but it doesn't have to be, your own experience. And you have to balance the experience a little. Ask those who have passed extra well, and then ask those who have failed too, so that you can, those who are passing unconsciously, they have an unconscious habits that they don't take note of that help them pass. But those who are failing can give you concrete mistakes that you should avoid, so you can avoid the landmines in medical school. And I assure you, they're actually quite a significant number. Now, as part of those experienced people, here are the experiences I'm going to be sharing with you. As also part of preparation, past question. Guys, a strategic use of past question is a huge cornerstone in medical school. And when you are doing past questions, do 5 years of past questions. You can do more, but 5 years. And when I mean 5 years, I mean 5 of the most recent years. Don't go to past questions of when your lecturers were still in school. There's no point. Do 5 of the most recent years. 5 years, because the departments, the tenures of the departments in Nigerian schools change after every 5 years. So a new HOD might come, new professors might come in. So but after 5 years will give you a very good key insight to how the lecturers think. You are not smarter than your lecturers. You are not smarter than the department. But with past questions, you can peek into their mind and see how they think. Another good reason for past questions is you can see the number of questions that are asked in an exam and the time allotted. So you can begin to even divide the time outside the exam hall and have a mental idea of how you're going to divide the time and how you're going to tackle the questions when the exams come into play. Now, let's go into the exams proper, into what I call delivery. Inside the exam hall, what do you really do? What makes the difference in the exam hall? The first thing that makes the difference in the exam hall is time management. Guys, time management. You have 4 questions, you have 1 hour. It means automatically that you have 15 minutes for every question. Of course, I know there are questions that are longer than questions, and sometimes you have LAQs and SAQs, short answer questions and long answer questions and stuff like that. So it's kind of different, but the baseline is you have 15 minutes for every question if you have 4 questions in an exam hall. If you now prepare yourself that you're going to answer each of those questions instead of in 15 minutes, in 12 minutes, it means mentally you're already preparing yourself to answer a 15 minutes question in 12 minutes. It will boost your speed and it will give you, in quotes, extra time. 3 minutes times 4, 12 minutes. 12 minutes is a huge chunk of time to have in an exam. In case, for example, you have a brain block or you make a mistake and you have to correct yourself. So you begin to manage your time, and the past question will give you a very good insight as to the kind of questions to expect in the exam hall. The next thing in the exam is start with the questions you know best. I'm very keen about this, because when you're starting with the question you know best, it will motivate you and then put you on a roller coaster, and then your unconscious mind can be working on the part of the question that you are not sure of. So you start with the one you best know, and then you end with the one you know least. And what I used to console myself is this: if I get to the last question I want to do and there's no time, I can tell myself after all there was no time, even though I knew I did not know. But at least start with the one you know best, kill it, get motivation and momentum, and then continue downwards. The next thing I'm going to talk about delivery. See, on YouTube we say content is king and appearance is queen. The only proof your lecturer has to the evidence of your knowledge is that script that he's going to mark. So you need to make that script look identical to the knowledge you have. Now you don't have to know everything, and frankly you can't know everything, but you can prove that what you know has to be very clearly well reflected in your answer sheet. Your answer sheet has to really look like like a queen and attract all the marks that a queen would attract. Now, first off, in MCQs, especially MCQs with negative marking, and I'm talking about negative marking of minus 0.5 if you fail one, is a risky business, because it's a very risky business, I repeat, because negative markings are actually leeches. They will suck it, they are parasites, they will drain your mark. Let me give you an example so you can have an idea. So you write an exam and there's negative marking, 100 MCQs, multiple choice question, and you get 60 over 100. Normally you've passed the exam, but because of the negative marking, 40 marks would mean minus 20, and when you take away 20 from 60 is 40, you failed that exam already. So you begin to think well in the exam. Now, this is my best advice for negative exam MCQs with negative marking. Before you answer, make sure you can bet your shoe. You can bet your best phone before you answer when you are going through the first time. If you can't, and there's an argument of two of your friends talking about if it's GLUT1 or GLUT2 that is a glucose transporter for red blood cells, skip that question and go to the next question. The reason why is because you need to be honest with yourself the first time you go through your multiple choice question, so you can really see what you know, and then you can go back the second time and then check what you don't know and be sure of that. So only attempt the ones you can bet your phone on. Now, worst case scenario, you count, and of all the questions in the exam, let's say 30 MCQs, you only know 15. At that point, ladies and gentlemen, you have to guess everything, because statistically, of the 15 out of 30 that you are sure of that you can bet your phone on, you might not know one. You might read one wrong, and then at the end of the day, instead of getting 15 over 30, for failing one, you actually get 13.5. So I want you to be aware of that when you are going into the exam hall. But by the time you've already scored 40, 60 out of 100, 70 out of 100, be humble enough to let go of the marks that that you are trying to grasp. You understand? You have to be very, very wise when it comes to multiple choice question. Anyway, so much with multiple choice question. Let's come to essays. Now, for essays, see, I prefer overshoot than undershoot. If you come back with the exam with knowledge from the exam hall, who are you going to impress? Your roommates or your siblings who are probably art students? It doesn't make any sense. So deliver everything you have. Go in full, come out empty. Make sure you don't leave any stone unturned. One of the ways why you will not leave any stone unturned is this. And this is what we're talking about delivery now. As I've told you already, start with what you know best, manage your time. Next is outline. Start with an introduction. For the love of Hippocrates, end with a conclusion. Draw if there is need to draw. In fact, make it a default that you have to draw in every question. There's nothing stopping you from using flowcharts and tables when you say differentiate between this and this. Just use a table and summarize yourself. If you are doing biochemical pathways, for example, your enzymes are on one side, your substrates are coming in from one side. Space your work neatly. See, if you write 5 lines, it might be choked as 5 lines, but if you space it, it will look like 9 lines. So zoom it so that what you know is clearly written. If you are the type that used to squeeze your handwriting and you expect your 65-year-old professor who is using a thick lens to use a hand lens to mark your script, you're joking. You have to make it legible. I know it's not fine. They forced our handwriting not to be fine in medical school, but at least make it big, bold, and beautiful. If you don't have beautiful, at least make it big and bold. I mean, that is as cheap as it can get. Don't forget to draw. More on that spacing I was talking about is, if you finish a question, don't start the next question directly beneath it. The reason why is because when they say 5 minutes to go, that inspiration that hits your hippocampus, that makes you have answers that you never knew were there because of that 5 minutes to go. Where are you going to write it if you jam pack your answers? For the love of Hippocrates, space your answers and bring in, by the time you have those inspirations, you can have space. It's better to have space and not have knowledge than to have knowledge and be looking for space to put it. I hope that is very, very, very clear. So that will already give you an idea of how to, go about SCA exams. Let me tell you a little bit about what I call the little things. And these little things can actually make a huge difference. Let's start with the simple ones. It doesn't take extra knowledge to come early to the exam. See, if you come late to the exam, you might be kept out for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. 30 minutes. See, you can do a miracle in the exam hall with 30 minutes. So just come early. It's better to fail than to have a dash on the scoreboard. Come early. And you need every time. The time is not even enough for the exam. Talk less of spending extra 30 minutes outside. So come early. If your clothes, your shoes, your tie, all those things, you should prepare them days before the exam. If it's a major exams, I say weeks before the exam, because those micro minutes that you're going to use for unproductive things on the exam, you can use it to inhale a lot of things. And you know what I'm talking about. So prepare those things and keep them closely. There's something I call an exam kit. 2 pencils sharpened at 2 edges, erasers, razors, rulers, all the things you need for an exam hall, including your documents, your ID card, and your exam cards and stuff like that. Have them at the ready, because on the exam one, you just get dressed. See, the exam is going to already be hard. Why not you just look good when you are going into the exam hall? You understand me? So get all those things you're going to need at the ready. The commonest cause of brain block in the exam hall is hypoglycemia. It's not lack of knowledge, it's hypoglycemia. You're coming into the exam hall and you did not eat, and then you're coming in all empty. For what do you expect the neurons to run on? Your CSF. You need glucose so that those people can serve you, they can deliver. So I'm not saying you should fill the tank. Don't come filled up like your sphincters are struggling. I'm saying, but don't come empty, so that you can actually be able to deliver in the exam hall. So these are the few tips that I think will be very, very helpful for someone that is going for an exam in medical school. If you have other helpful tips that you think would be nice, please leave them in the comment section. If you disagree with me with any of those things, please leave them in the comment section. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video. Cheers.